I'd bet anything on that.
Are you sure about that? Anything? Let me tell you a story I like to call Who's the Winner. It started here in Sunset Valley with two families who lived next door to each other, the Garrisons and the Conways. There was Larry Garrison, who had a crush on Francine's older sister Molly, who liked Larry's older brother Dennis, who was infatuated with Molly's mother Mary. But that's another story. This story is about Francine's love for Larry. Larry always thought of Francine as the little girl next door. As they grew up, Dennis went into the service and married. Molly went away to college. Francine found it hard to live in the shadow of her older sister, trying to be a cheerleader like Molly. Always feeling not as pretty or as developed, she went back to her small group of friends in the library and admired Larry from afar. Larry graduated and followed his brother into the military. When Francine graduated, she got a job at the library. When Larry came home on leave to find his mother very ill, his mother told him how much help Francine had been since she had gotten sick, and asked Larry to take Francine out. He protested at first, but he promised he would. Then he realized Francine wasn't a little girl anymore. Francine introduced Larry to her friends and was so happy when one date turned into 6. Larry found Francine attractive, intelligent, and more. Larry told his mother about his feelings for Francine, and she said, "Silly boy, she's loved you since she was 7. You can't go wrong with her." Francine saw Larry off at the bus station, promising to watch over his folks, and he promised to write. As she had promised, she was there when Tracy Garrison passed over, and she was there to comfort Roy Garrison with his grief. Tracy Garrison's father's property now went directly to his 2 grandsons. Dennis got the beach triplex, and Larry got 26 acres in the hills overlooking Sunset Valley. When Larry came home from his military service, he subdivided the land, selling off 2 parcels for capital, and began building houses on the remainder, one at a time, with the help of his father. Francine would bring lunch to Larry and Roy at the job site, and Francine taught Larry to fish. When the first house was finished, Larry got cleaned up, picked Francine up from the library, taking her to the new house, and proposing in an empty living room. They were married that spring. Francine worked hard to make the house into a home, while Larry continued to build and sell houses. By the spring, the bank account had grown a lot, but not as much as Francine. The baby was due in 2 months, when something went wrong. Larry found Francine unconscious and bleeding on the floor. They rushed her to the hospital, but it was too late for the baby. Francine was touch and go for a long time. I think that's when Larry really knew how much he loved her. Francine did pull through, but she would never be able to have children. That was the hardest part. Physically, she was fine in months, but emotionally, it compounded her inferiority complex, driving her into deep depression. Larry did what he could, getting Francine the best psychiatrist in town, redoing the nursery into a guest room, taking her to art exhibits, trying to spark her interest back in her painting. The psychiatrist was helping, but slowly, and the sex life was almost nil. But that wasn't so much Francine as Larry. He was afraid to push it, thinking she would reject him. Francine thought it was because she was ugly.
That's so tragic. Did Francine get better?
Let me continue. The hospital bills were getting bigger, and the bank account was getting smaller. Larry sold the last house, and his brother Dennis asked him to meet him at a club downtown.
Hey, Dennis. Why did you want to meet here?
I thought we'd celebrate you selling that last house.
But why a strip club?
Larry, I figured you still weren't getting any at home. I don't want you to forget what it looks like.
Dennis, you're an asshole.
Just kidding, little brother. But it has been a long time, hasn't it?
I thought we were here to celebrate, not talk about my sex life.
Okay. So what are you going to do now?
Well, there's no money coming in, so I thought I'd call Uncle Carl about buying some income property before I run out.
Oh, yes. Cousin Helen. She was hot.
You're a pervert, Dennis. I've got a wife at home that thinks she's a troll, and it would kill her if she knew I was here. And you wishing that our cousin was up there dancing naked in front of us right now? You're a sick man.
I'm a man, Larry, that doesn't have a stick up his ass, and your wife is no troll.
I know that, but she doesn't think so.
She's finer than any bitch in this place. Well, if she'd stop dressing like Mary and the librarian. and show a little skin every once in a while. Every real man in this town would give their right arm to be with her. I know I would.
Thanks for the drink, Dennis. I'm out of here.